Greetings, friends and fellow rebels. If you're still with me after my discussion about depression, not only am I surprised, but I want to add a little bit more to that. If you don't understand the processes, what's happening to you, you can't take control of your life or take control of your world. And it's an unfortunate reality that in current Western society, there has been a concerted attempt to pathologize life, normal existence, to find categories of illness, to posit that this is what you're experiencing because of this and that illness, and we can fix it with our medication or surgery or behavioral therapy. We can force you to feel or think differently, when the truth is, human beings, we come in all shapes and sizes. We are diverse, we are different, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the glory and the beauty of being human. It's the beauty of living on this planet. It is a planet full of diverse life forms. You can't pigeonhole us accurately. There is the general rule for most, but you're always going to have people in one way or another fall outside of their rules, and that's normal and desirable. It's part of what makes us thrive as a species. It's part of what has allowed us to survive innumerable changes and transformations. And it's going to allow us to thrive through the current transformation, which is probably greater than most any that has come before. But I'm not speaking about the transhumanist transformation. I find that to be a trap, and probably something I should discuss later. We are talking about emotions. It is one of the most powerful tools humans are given. It gives us immense spiritual strength and an ability to form our reality and our world in any way that we need it to be. Now, we have been conditioned to believe that we do not have control over our world. We do not have control over our spiritual power, but that is not true. If you understand the elements of your spirit, of what it is constituted, how it relates to the physical body, you can, in many ways, take control to whatever degree that you allow yourself. We have different perceptions based on different levels of our spiritual development, of our spiritual process. We plateau in between each expression, in between each time that we surge forward in our progress, because we need to incorporate what we have just learned. If you progress too quickly, everything falls apart. So the idea is, it's like a staircase. You take steps toward what you want to become, what you want to do with yourself. Learning to understand and thus master your emotions so that they serve you rather than the other way around is part of that process. Now, we've talked about a lot of the primary emotions, but not all. One emotion that I'd like to bring up, and it's an offshoot of fear, is shame, and its cousin, guilt. Now, shame in many ways is fear turned inside, just as fear in general is a response to threat. And you summon that energy in order to freeze the situation that you are in, so you, just very briefly, so that you are able to assess what you need to do and take action. Shame freezes internally. It is that energy turned internal to assess how to respond to, usually it's an accusation or a situation that you find yourself in. It's very uncomfortable. And it often allows you a moment to assess. When you turn that inside yourself and you kind of freeze your internal processes so you can evaluate how to respond, there's a few physical, each of these emotions have physical signs. For instance, anger with cortisol, it'll pump you up physically. It'll pump up your muscles. It'll get you on high alert with your perceptions. With fear, it's a paralysis. You're paralyzing everything around you, that the spiritual energies, you're shutting them down so that no action will be taken while you make an analysis. Now, if others around you have their own agenda and push back against that, and they're stronger than you are, you'll be frozen, they'll take action, and you'll be in trouble. But again, that's why we are assessing each individual emotion to understand them, so that we can learn to use what is wisest in each situation, so that we can get the results we want. Getting back to shame. Shame is fear turned inward. So you are flipping that switch. Often, if someone's ashamed, they will get that red embarrassment will come down. Now, one of the wisest ways to deal with shame is either to confront it, to dispel it. That shame factor will be it'll give you that internal breath to evaluate, was I in the wrong? Or did what I do, it was required to maintain my integrity? Am I out of integrity? Am I in integrity with my internal self, my internal values? And that will tell you the wisest way to move forward. Out of integrity, then confronting it and offering your apologies or your evaluation of how you can make good on whatever you need to take care of would be one way to handle it. If perhaps you were in integrity by whatever you were being accused of doing, it was something you needed to do, one way to handle that would be levity. We haven't talked about this yet. We will. But levity is one way to break up the paralysis of fear, the paralysis, the severity, the gravity that holds you in place. Levity breaks it up. So when you're accused of something, and it's something you did do, and it's something that you did for the right reasons, in spite of the anger or upset that it may have created in others, using levity to dispel that internal paralysis is one way to get the energy flowing again. Humor, laughter, levity breaks through severity. Now, if you're up against people who are absolutely determined to have their way, that they're going to get things on course and keep things on course, and they're using their policing emotion, that would be anger, to manage the situation, they're going to be pinpoint focused. And so you breaking up that energy of severity, of gravity, is not going to be taken well. They're going to want to keep things in stasis until they get what they want. So you're going to inspire an increase in that anger energy that's going to be coming at you. So you need to evaluate the person you're dealing with to see if this is going to escalate the situation or if you can diffuse it. Now, if the shame is generalized and not the result of a confrontation, if you have done something, you're driven to do something, but it's in integrity for you, but you're feeling internal shame, again, bringing levity to your world and to yourself, looking at it humorously, can often provide a solution to getting yourself back on track and going again. Guilt is a deeper level of shame. It's when shame has been You can't rectify it easily, you can't rectify it simply, and you feel that you are out of integrity, or you feel perhaps sorrow because of your actions putting distance between you and a situation or someone you care about, then you get guilt. Again, a deeper level of shame, it's when shame is carried for too long and it festers. Guilt is, it can be useful if it keeps you from doing something that's out of integrity for you, or it can be very damaging if it's pushing against you doing what is in integrity for you. We'll talk more about guilt next time, and welcome to the